Hello, fam, and welcome back to another episode of Uncle Bill's Kitchen. First, if you haven't, please hit that like and subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything, but really helps our channel out a lot. Now, let's get to the good stuff. Have you been out to those Mexican restaurants and paid way too much for a platter of nachos that look really sad, like the lettuce has been sitting around all day? Well, you're in for a treat. Today I'm going to show you how to make my world famous nachos. Everybody loves them, and it's really easy to do and very inexpensive. Stay tuned. Alright family, let's get this started. Take a look at your ingredients and adjust accordingly to what you want to make. Here we got a nice tomato, onion, some really good nachos, sour cream, cheese seasoning and iceberg lettuce, refried beans, and a pound of ground beef. Now, take a look at this nice knife we got here. Yes, I just bought this off of Amazon. Nice Damascus steel, looking good. Let's hope it cuts as well as it looks. Take the first two main leaves off of your lettuce. I like to do this to make sure I'm not getting any of that poison that they use to keep the bugs off this stuff with in my food. Works for me, it'll work for you. Now we're going to take off some of this lettuce here. I like to use about 2 or 3 leaves depending on the size of the head. You'll have to take a look at your plate to figure out how much you want to use. Now we're going to roll this up like a little egg roll. In from the back, then the sides, and then roll it up. Now I know this looks weird, but trust me, it'll make your life a lot easier when you're cutting this up. I like to cut my lettuce into small pieces so that they'll fit nicely on the nacho. Slice, slice, slice. Small, small, small. Be careful, these new knives are sharp. Then I'll turn this around, and to make them into even smaller pieces, I cut along the side. Pop it in a bowl. Now let's get ready to cut this onion. Now I know some people don't like to cut off the ends first, but this is how I do it. Put a little slice in the side, grab it from the first layer, and just pull that skin right off. Oh yeah, super easy and won't make you cry. Now the best way to chop an onion, in my opinion, is to slice down along the side first, almost to the very end, and then along like this. Makes them nice and uniform and keeps them good. Do this to both sides of your onions and get ready. Don't cry. Don't cry. It's all right. The wife and I love onions on our nachos, so we use a lot. You might want to just use half for yours. Take refried beans out of a can, put them in a bowl, put a napkin on top so it doesn't splatter all over the inside of your microwave. Pop your bad boy in there, put another lid just in case, and then put 3 minutes. Now, let's take a nice hot pan and put your ground beef in there. We're going to want to get this nice and brown all the way, and we're going to want to make them into small pieces, no big clumps of meat in my nachos. This takes a little time. Just take your wooden spoon in a non-stick pan, or cast iron pan if you'd like, and then just keep on chopping up those pieces until they become small. Then you're going to just keep stirring it. Stirring and stirring, chopping and chopping, browning and browning. It's my favorite part of cooking. Don't have time for meditation? This is a great one for you. You're going to want to make sure to get that beef nice and brown, so flip it up if you can. exchange the bottom for the top and keep on mixing. Get rid of all that pink. Oh, this smells good. And it's just ground beef. I like it. Remember, we won't want to have rich pieces of beef, and we don't want to pour the grease down the drain. So take an old bowl or an ugly one like this, pour your grease right into it. I promise you, in a couple hours, it'll turn into a nice pad of dried greasiness. And you'll be able to throw that into a plastic bag and get it into your garbage. Now let's start off with our seasoning. Pour that right over the top of your beef. Just like so. 3/4 cup of water right in the mix. Keep your heat on about medium, a little over medium. Let me get you closer here. How's that look? Oh yeah. Let's stir this up. You're going to want to get the meat covered with the water and the mix and the seasoning so that when you dip your nachos in there, you know you're going to have flavor. If it looks a little wet, don't worry. Take a look. See, mine's a wet. Just keep stirring. There's a thickening agent in the spice that'll coagulate and bring everything together. Give it a nice little flip. Let me show off a little bit. And stir, stir, stir. I'm gonna cook it till it's about this consistency, nice and thick. Now it's time to plate. First, you're gonna want to spread your lettuce nice and evenly on the bottom of your plate. Just like so. If you get a couple pieces of tomato in there, don't worry. We'll eat those too. Don't leave any on your fingers. Now let's grab those hot refried beans. That's right, they are hot, so be careful. Put it evenly over the lettuce. This is going to warm the lettuce up a little bit. It's also going to give us a little barrier to build onto. I like to spread it evenly across the top of the lettuce so that every piece of lettuce has a little bean on it. Oh yeah. If you want to add some cheese, here's the time to put it on. You're going to notice my cheese looks a little strange. Well, that's because Uncle Bill forgot to pick up shredded cheese at the market, and we decided to take some of our sandwich cheese and cut it up into strips, just like this, and put it on top of the beans. Sometimes you got to be creative. Now we've got hot, cold, and now we're going to put our beef on top of this cheese. What do you think is going to happen? Is that cheese going to get nice and melty? I certainly hope so. This is the way I do it every time, folks. And trust me, you're going to love it.
Yo voy a cantar esta canción, yo voy a cantar esta canción para mi gente. Con una pasión.
Try to put the beef on as evenly as possible. There's plenty to go around. You're going to want to cover as much as you can. Once you've got a nice layer of ground beef over your plate, put the rest on in the middle and spread it around. It's that easy, folks. Don't spend $16.99 on nachos when you can make them at home for half the price. Now we're going to take some of our sour cream, dollop it all over the top. I like sour cream. How about you? I don't know why God makes things that taste so good be so bad for you. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Enjoy. Now I know you're thinking this looks ugly as all get out, but don't worry. We got something else that's going to be going on top of this as well. That's right. Tomatoes and onions. So spread that sour cream goodness all over your meat. Now we're going to take those cut up tomatoes, as you can see here. We're going to place these nicely and generously over the top of the sour cream. And then we're going to put the onions on top of those. Yummy, yummy. Let's take a look at how this is when it's finished. Oh, yes. Look at that. Bet you can't wait to make this in your kitchen. Now, if this is going to be for a party, another way that you can set this up is by placing your nachos all the way around and inside. Makes it look pretty and makes it easily accessible for your guests to grab a chip and some nachos. I always like to make things look nice, don't you? Ah, now look at that. Tell me this isn't something that you'd be proud to serve at one of your parties. Now I like to have a little tapatio sauce with my nachos because I like it hot. My wife, hey honey, why don't you give this a try? What do you think? Huh? Is it good? Thanks for stopping by Uncle Bill's Kitchen. Please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button as it really does help our channel.